Hi, I'm Marky2Butts, and this is Rocket League Analysis. Today we're going to be looking at some replays to see what went wrong and what could possibly be done better, and just to get an overall look at a whole situation from a couple different perspectives. I always think it's good to look at replays and watch gameplay to be able to break it down and see where you went wrong or where other people went wrong, just to be able to learn from your mistakes. It's always good to improve like that. So in this specific time, we have a couple of goals and plays that we can analyze to see what went wrong and how we can do better. So I'm going to play this out now. See, and that was the whole play. But a couple of things I want to point out from this are there's a couple things that come to my mind when I first see this. See, right here, well, actually, let's probably go a little bit farther. Right here, though, maybe this player wasn't exactly expecting that touch right there to happen, but like in this position, I feel like he is way too far out, where it's like even if he boosts and jumps like immediately, like I don't think he's gonna be able to get to that, and then backflips. And he also, it's the fact that he has 100 boosts, so like I don't know where his positioning, why he's pushing up so far right here in the first place. I feel like it's pretty out of position from that perspective when his teammates already trying to challenge for it. He's already out of the play now, and this player is let's see what he has. He also has 100 boost. Okay, and then he just gets beat at that point. It's not the greatest of challenges, but I feel like this player right here, L Game, could have been a little bit behind. It didn't have to be so close to the person challenging the ball, because he's a little bit in no man's land at the moment, and he backflips and can't really touch the ball. That's just one thing. I mean, like right here where he is, I feel like you could just kind of stay like right here and wait for him to challenge the ball and see what happens from there, because not really in like a dangerous position yet, but it's just like little things like that where he pushes up a little bit too far and then gets beat over, and then the other player gets a bad challenge in. He probably should have been. He also probably didn't. Maybe it's just the fact that they didn't expect that Verz guy to win the ball so cleanly like that. But yeah, I think they both could be a little bit farther back. All right, here's another situation where we're gonna look at what happened to cause this goal and analyze it. This one seems a little bit more easier to be able to analyze, and what really comes out of it is the fact that when this player has the ball at around half field on the wall, the other two players, one and some guys over here. Both go up to midfield, and they're both waiting for a pass, which is fine and all. And it's good to be able to pass and receive passes from your teammates to be able to, link up play in Rocket League. But I think it was the lack of communication that they probably didn't know that they both were standing like around the same area as each other. And that's the problem, is because all it took was one player on Orange Team just to challenge and win the ball cleanly and put a shot on target, and no one could get back to defend it or save it. So we're going to look at this again from their perspectives. Like he sees the two players. 1, 2. And it's a fine opportunity to be able to go and pass. But there's a little misstep on the pass, but it's the fact that the two players are standing right next to each other also, where one of these two has to be able to communicate and be the third person back, because they're once this pass doesn't come up, they're very close to each other, as you can see. And this person at least starts going back because he knows that the ball is definitely not coming to him, especially when we have two people challenging on orange. So the ball is definitely looks like he's not going to be able to reach like all the way out to where he would be around like this area. So, and that's what ended up happening, is the orange team wins the challenge. And he's not able to get back to it. Alright, and now we're going to look at a third situation to see what went wrong. See, in this situation, what I see when looking at this is people sometimes underestimate how important it is to play good defense in Rocket League. And there's just certain situations where you can't afford to make bad touches or miss the ball inherently. And right here, this player is the third man. And what happens in this is this guy's already taken out of the picture. There's one. There's number 2, and he's a third. And the second player also gets beat, and the third player doesn't get the best of hits on the ball, which forces the other two players to scramble back in defense, and the blue team has a couple decent chances at goal and ends up getting a goal out of this after the fact too. And it's just like certain situations where I think this third player needs to realize that he is third man, so he can't have like a bad touch like that. And I get that's like sometimes a mechanical mistake and like error, but there's some thought where sometimes I feel like people don't really understand that, and they're just hitting the ball because the ball's in front of them. But when you play this out, it's it's hard to tell if he knows that or not, like what is happening in a certain sense. But playing this out again, he gets not a great touch, and then, like I said, he's turning around. The first teammate is trying to scramble back. He's boosting. His second teammate's still out of play over here, and he's turning around. And let's see how much boost they all have. He has 40, but he's the second player that's out of the play. He has 60, but he's going to have to use a lot of it to get back. And he has 100. But when this play... And when this happens, though, when he gets a bad touch, when he's on 100 boost like that, it just kind of happens to, where the first person has to make a scramble, like try to make a great save and push it off to like the side in order to, just because this player didn't hit the ball, this guy has to jump to be able to try to block a pass to, the middle where the blue team could still potentially score from that. And so he has to dive to make a save from that. Blue player misses, and this guy puts it off the crossbar, and he doesn't get a good read on the crossbar, and it still ends up going in. But it's like that whole situation could be avoided by just, making sure you get like a nice booming clear, or at least catch the ball and make it like a flick. You should have like certain things to think about in situations like that. Is always good. That's it for our analysis of this specific game in these situations. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next analysis.